Headlines and deadlines, live experiments. Long-form videos are very confusing. So, I'm testing the short form out because it appears to me that my energy drops very much during the day, and I just can't focus enough to get the videos done in the evening. So let's see how short forms work out. What else is going on? Tell me about the what you saw in the kitchen. The BBC. What was on the BBC this morning?
Oh, there was a woman who was skating and singing at the same time.
A woman who was skating and singing at the same time, because this is the news. This is what's important in society. It's
She was the first, I think she was supposed to be the first singer to skate and sing at the same time.
the first ice skater to. She can't be the. She can't. And is this the new kind of end thing? Is it that people are going to be ice skating and singing now because that's where you should invest your time and your energy and your attention? And what was she singing about? The boy that turned into a frog or something. I don't know.
A girl.
A boy that turned into a girl. There we go. It might as well have been a giraffe that turned into a spider, which would be kind of weird. It would probably make more sense, actually, because society and the songs and the way things are going is all a bit weird. I read a post earlier that was about the principles of unity, which is that the whole one order system just aims to create a singularity of everything, which includes a singularity of gender, which will be done by mixing and creating so many genders that people get so confused that they don't actually know what is anymore. He will no longer be he, she will no longer be she, and it will be whatever you want it to be. Da-na-na-na-na. It's a bit insane. It harks back to the madness that is just pumped out by the BBC. It goes back to the Mermaid Olympics that that they promoted a few months ago, which is another ridiculous story about the ways that society is going, because obviously Mermaid Olympics are important. It's really important to get people thinking about that and not about the British warships that are heading towards various different countries in the world to achieve certain agendas. Not just British as well. Everybody's got their little agendas going on. There's not that many countries that can send warships all over the place at the moment. Britain, the United States, obviously, largest military, Russia, China, and that's if there is a difference and these people are not all on the same page, because if you ask me, they might as well all be on the same page, because they seem to have the same end game in the back of their mind. What else is going on? Feel free to leave a comment below the video, or audio, wherever you find it, if any of this resonates with whatever is on your radar out there. Narcissists. There was a good post this morning. You do find good stuff in between the madness about narcissists and their relationship to questions. And that's really what I wanted to talk about, why people avoid answering questions. And this is very specific to me in my work, because I need direct answers to my questions. I started to frustrate everybody around about me by saying it's a yes or no question. So give me a yes or no answer. And people will say, well, yeah, well, it's more complicated than that. Yet it is, but that doesn't help because you need to make decisions in order to make changes, in order to make progress. Dun, dun, dun. So, questions. Narcissists will welcome whoever's watching. Feel free to leave a comment. It's you. It's you. It's. Thanks. Well, thank you very much.
I have to support you, right?
You do have to support me. There's no choice. You didn't eat your breakfast this morning. Can I make that point?
No, because I was drinking my coffee. You know that I drink coffee for breakfast. I don't eat for breakfast.
Yes, but I thought you'd eat it if it was nice.
It was nice.
But I
I
wanted to give you yogurt, but I couldn't find any, so I just chopped up the fruit and put the fruit in.
That was very nice.
There we go.
Was that okay?
What, the fruit?
Yeah.
The breakfast?
Yeah.
Yes! I had to think about what you meant when you met the girls there. I was like, who are the girls? Are there people hiding in the house that I don't know about? The daughters. Yes. Little fish, big fish swimming in the water. Right. Weird, irrelevant, lyrical references. So back to narcissists. Narcissists commonly don't answer questions in any way that is useful at all. You want an example? Politicians, right? You ask the politicians, what will be the price of X next year? And well, they might not even know the answer anyway, but they'll start talking about Y, Z, and why P, Q, R, S, T is important. So they won't be able to answer the question because they'll get caught on it later because they can have plausible deniability as long as they don't talk about anything important, and they can always turn around later on and say, oh, I just didn't know, because that's what we elect. We elect people who just don't know, but they think they know. The background noises, that's you looking at food, right? Okay, just checking. Okay, so those people that avoid answering the questions, very frustrating, very annoying. What else can I say? I'll give you some examples of what happens. So, point number one. You can argue that all arsonists, this is an arsonist instead of narcissists. Well, they're just as bad as each other. One burns the house and the other burns the people. So, all narcissists know nothing or very little because narcissists cannot think straight. They cannot... Sorry? That's not true. Well, I'm open to opinions. I'm not sure the mic is...
It's not true. The cerebral narcissists are very intelligent people.
Well, you can argue that narcissists are intelligent in a kind of evil sense, right?
They're also intelligent in the area of expertise. The cerebral narcissists are very...
Cerebral narcissist.
Yes.
I should have a second mic set up here.
They're very focused on their, as the name suggests, on their brain and on
Cerebral narcissists are...
expertise. Therefore, you have very highly skilled professionals.
Yeah, I can't take long answers on this because the mic might not pick you up, and then it'd just be a giant pause where nothing's happening there. So you're saying that they're interested in working on their own brains,
Yes.
basically, and as a result, you can't help but improve in certain areas when you do that. Yeah. So we're talking about high level functioning narcissism in that example. But we can't have a conversation about it because you're not mic'd up. Tra-la-la.
High achieving, top people.
High achieving.
Top people in science.
You're talking about people who get things done. In the essence, they get where it is that they want to go, right? Okay. Yeah,
Research Sam Vaknin and his...
Research...
His name is Sam Vaknin.
Sam Vaknin.
And his subdivided the narcissist into somatic and...
Okay, yeah. You're not mic'd up, so it's all cool. It's all cool. It's all good information. You know a lot more about that than I do, but it's all about learning, isn't it? We share what we know so that we can grow. It's all like a kid's TV show. No, I agree with this statement that it's an absolute statement like all narcissists know nothing is wrong. Yeah. But the problem is that the narcissist's perception of reality is probably wrong. It's probably not that they know nothing, because nobody knows nothing. I mean, that's just a wrong statement. It's just the wrong place to start in terms of how to define things. So let's just say that narcissist perception of reality might be slightly different from reality, and then you can argue that nobody knows what reality is. But let's start somewhere. Yeah. So narcissists have problems feeling genuine emotions or being authentic. They lack real self within themselves, which means they have very little connection to true knowledge or wisdom. Now, that's kind of a true knowledge. And what does it mean when you put those two words together? Is there knowledge that is not true? Yeah, there's a big question. It perhaps means that they're very much focused on a certain type or certain kind of information. So, the argument is that, as Bianca suggested, narcissists are not stupid. It's not that they can't hold jobs or write books or get PhDs or become leaders. It just means that although they have a point of view, their point of view is not really based in a reality that most people can relate to. I mean, most people, normal people, of whatever is normal anymore. I mean, that's a difficult question. So it all comes under the term the fakery, where they give fake or unreal responses because of their fake perspectives on the world. Eventually, their answers feed into their own perspectives, and they get lost in their own points of view, which you can see in the political sphere when you wonder what it is that people are talking about. They've reflected their own ideas onto themselves so much that they actually start believing that their delusional ideas are real or true. Anything else to add?
No.
You're not listening to me, so it's good. It's good that you're not listening to me, because you'll just be correcting me all the time. and there you go. Right. Second point, which might be just as wrong as the first one, that narcissists get a certain level of enjoyment about or around the concept of disappointment. That when people are disappointed, they feel that they gain some kind of advantage from that personally. It might just be that the attempt to place themselves in a higher position or theoretically better position. Anyway, not answering questions directly prevents any kind of development. It prevents harmony, it prevents closure, it prevents fulfillment, it prevents communication, it prevents mutual understanding, it prevents genuine transfer of information, and as a result creates disappointment, which is essentially unnecessary. And this comes under the term of withholding ideas, withholding knowledge, withholding information, and withholding the ability for people to feel a certain level of happiness without the permission of the narcissist, or without that person being present in the situation. And you might recognize this in some of the relationships with people around about you, either in your family life or in your work life, or in some other sphere, maybe the social sphere there. Next, narcissists, or narcissism, is partly the practice of attention vampirism, which means that if you give a little bit of attention to these people, they will seek to draw more attention from you. And this focus on drawing attention, it will derail the topics of conversation. It will cause the conversation to meander all over the place with no specific purpose. You won't be able to stay on point in the conversation. And it will lead to the subject probably subtly being changed, so you can't get the answer that you want. It also leads to what's called leeching of attention beyond the level that would be fair or right in any kind of conversation. So the point is that at the end of the conversation you feel pretty much unsatisfied because you haven't taken any steps forward. And so this circles back to the idea that people are not just stealing your energy, they're stealing your time there as well. It's a form of vampirism. And the final point about not answering questions and the misdirection in conversation is that narcissists realize that answering your question will fulfill you, and it is part of their goal, probably subconsciously, probably not consciously, that you should not be completely fulfilled from the conversation or from the answer, perhaps from their input, but not from the actual answer. And this comes from the fact that to fulfill a person, you have to come from a place of love and respect and kindness. And it is frequently displayed by narcissists that they cannot allow the other person to feel satisfied without the narcissist being at the center of the situation, at the center of the solution, at the center of the conversation. And the narcissist, of course, is just projecting the fact that they have this inability to feel love, to experience love, to give love, and to respect the person that they are communicating with. So, these are some thoughts on narcissists and why people don't specifically get answers to questions that they need to get answers to, and why things just circle around and go nowhere, and there's no progress over time, and you fill your life with meaningless circles of the same thing consistently, and there's no growth basically over the long term. So there we go. That's it from the living room with this little presentation. How's it going, Will?
Hi.
Yeah, what you reading over there? Chemical chaos. You're not going to be doing like wild experiments in the kitchen.
Oh, I have just found a chemistry subscription box.
A chemistry subscription box.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Is it expensive? What's it called?
Oh, okay. It's called,
What's it?
I don't know, it doesn't say Male Science.
Male Science Chemicals. Chemistry. Chemical subscription. Chemistry subscription box.
Subscription box.
Perfect for people who want to see things happen.
Starter kit. Chemistry set and VR headset with chemistry lessons in VR.
VR headset with chemistry lessons in VR. We've got headsets. We don't need headsets. Will, you want to read me a fact from the book? It better be super exciting and interesting, because I'm gonna share it live with everybody. So what's the fact?
Diamonds are so hard that the only thing that cuts them is
Another
diamond.
Diamonds are so hard that the only thing that can cut them is another diamond. So does that mean there's nothing harder than a diamond? There must be harder things than diamonds, or maybe not, because no. There's nothing harder than a diamond.
Diamonds were
Diamonds are forever.
Could be used on a trip to Venus. They could be built in as windows.
Diamonds could be used as windows on trips to Venus. That might be slightly beyond something we see in our lifetime, but you
because they don't burn up.
You never know. Diamonds don't burn.
Though if you
Well, they.
put them up really high, they
Well,
might melt.
I imagine there's a certain point at which everything burns, I imagine. But what do I know? I don't know anything at all. Right. Done. I should probably go back and title this something. I'll think about that. There we go. Titles are cool.